Whether your inventory is large or small, unique or part of an established line, you can find a listing option in Seller Central. There are two basic parts to every listing: a product detail page and the offers paired with it. A product detail page is what customers see when they select an individual item in the Amazon store. The page includes a product name or title, images, about this item bullets, and a product description. Every product for sale in the Amazon store has its own product detail page. Whether it's sold by one or multiple sellers, a product's information is housed in one place. We combine listings in this way to make it easier for customers to find, compare, and purchase products. Each product detail page is also paired with every seller's offer for that item. We often feature an offer based on price, availability, and the customer's shipping address, but all others are also available for review. The primary tool we use to pair a seller's offer with the correct product detail page is a product ID, also called a Global Trade Identification Number or GTIN. GTINs are used around the world to uniquely identify and track goods that are bought, sold, stored, and shipped. Whether you're matching your offer to an existing listing or adding a new product to the Amazon catalog, you'll probably need this number. It can often be found on packaging, above or below the product's barcode. The most common GTIN used by Amazon sellers is a UPC, but you might also find an ISBN, EAN, or JAN on your product. In some cases, you might need to purchase a GTIN for a product from an international organization called Global Standards 1 or GS1 for short. And in rare cases, you might apply for a GTIN exemption from Amazon. Once you have a product ID, you're ready to start listing in the Amazon store. There are two basic types of product listings: existing and new. When you match an existing product listing, you aren't providing product information, but are simply pairing your offer with an existing product detail page. You'll provide pricing and quantity information and can enter information about sales, handling times, and shipping. When you create a new product listing, you provide full product information, which we use to create a new product detail page. You also provide information for your specific offer. Your ability to create a new product detail page depends on your relationship with the product being listed. In some cases, your relationship with a product may also impact your ability to match an offer. If a product is part of a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, only 3 types of sellers can create its product detail page: the original rights owner who enrolled the brand, other sellers verified as internal to the brand, and resellers authorized by the brand. After the product is listed, other sellers can then match offers to the product detail page. They may be prompted to complete a brand selling application first in order to request approval for the registered brand. If a product is part of a brand not enrolled in brand registry, the product owner can create a product detail page for it after they secure approval for their unregistered brand name. They request approval by responding to error code 5665, which they receive when they first try to list using their unregistered brand name. They follow links in the error message to request an exception to Amazon's usual brand name policy. If an exception is granted, they can then create their product detail page. And they can create additional detail pages for other products that are part of their brand. Other sellers are able to match offers to these pages. Finally, if a product is generic, meaning it doesn't have a permanent brand name or logo affixed, its product detail page can be created by the product owner using generic as a brand name value during the listing process. After the page is created, other sellers can match offers. Note that in some cases, sellers are required to complete a selling application for a product or category before they can create or match offers to a product detail page. If that's necessary, you'll be prompted to complete that application during the listing process. Both new and existing products can also come in variations. Products have variations if they're available in different sizes, colors, or patterns, or have various styles, amounts, or flavors. For example, a shirt might come in 2 colors, blue and yellow. It might also come in 2 sizes, small and large. That would be 4 variations total, 1 for each color and size pairing. At Amazon, instead of giving each variation its own product detail page, which would make it difficult for customers to compare versions of an item, we put all variations on a single page and group them using one main product. We call this main product the parent and variations the child products. You can both match and create product listings with variations as a normal part of the listing process. Whether you're matching or creating product listings, there are two basic processes for adding items to your inventory in Seller Central: one at a time or in bulk. All sellers can list items one at a time. That means you'll use a single product ID to match or create an individual listing. Professional sellers can also add items to their inventory in bulk using an inventory file. By entering product and offer information in a spreadsheet, you can upload multiple listings at once. You can also make quick edits to your file when listings need to change and re-upload to Seller Central with a few quick clicks. You'll use Seller Central each time you want to match, create, or edit a listing. To list products one at a time, open the Seller Central main menu, hover over Inventory, and click Add a Product. Enter your GTIN and search for your exact item. If you find it, match the existing listing and enter your offer information. If you don't find it, click the Create a New Listing button to enter full product information along with your individual offer. To list products in bulk, open the Seller Central main menu, hover over Inventory, and click Add Products via Upload. First, you'll use the Download an Inventory File page to select the types of products you want to sell and generate a file template. Then you'll add your product information to your inventory file. Finally, you'll upload your file to Seller Central using the Upload Your Inventory File page. On this page, you can also monitor your upload status. You can both match and create product listings in bulk using a single file. After adding product listings to your inventory, you can also use the same process to make edits. This concludes our intro to listing products. To learn more about product detail pages and product IDs, or to get step-by-step instructions for listing products one at a time or in bulk, review the full list of modules in our List Products course in Seller University. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store! Welcome to our training on the Product ID Overview. Most products sold on Amazon are required to have an industry-standard product ID. Product IDs are part of a universal system called GTIN, or the Global Trade Identification Number System. This system is used by Amazon and across other marketplaces. It's managed by an international organization called Global Standards 1, or GS1 for short. GTINs ensure that products are uniquely identified while being bought and sold, and they help sort and track items in transit. Each GTIN pairs with a unique barcode, which makes product IDs scannable. In most cases, you'll need to provide a GTIN when you create a new product detail page on Amazon. A GTIN is also the surest way to match your offer to an existing product already sold on Amazon. If you match a listing using other information like a brand or product name, Amazon will automatically associate your offer with the GTIN provided by the brand owner or brand qualified seller who first listed the product. There are a few cases in which a GTIN is not required to create a product detail page. In those cases, you'll apply for a GTIN exemption instead. This could occur if you're selling a private label or handmade product for which the brand, manufacturer, or publisher does not provide a GTIN. You might also apply for an exemption if you're selling product parts or bundled products in a single pack. GTIN exemptions are rare. In general, most products sold on Amazon use one of the following GTINs: a Universal Product Code, or UPC, an International Standard Book Number, or ISBN, a European Article Number, or EAN, or a Japanese Article Number, or JAN. EANs and JANs are also sometimes referred to as International Article Numbers. UPCs, ISBNs, EANs, and JANs vary in length, but each acts as a unique product identifier. Most product categories sold on Amazon require a specific GTIN type. In many cases, it will be UPC. You can often find the GTIN for a product above or below the barcode on its packaging or on the product's shipping container. It's important to note that each variation of a product will have its own product ID. If a product comes in different sizes or colors, each version will have its own GTIN. For example, a small blue shirt will have a different GTIN than the same blue shirt in medium. A large green shirt will have a different GTIN than the same large shirt in red. It's also important to note that a GTIN is different from a product's ASIN and SKU. While a GTIN is a registered, universally recognized product ID used across international trade, ASINs and SKUs are Amazon and seller specific. An ASIN, or Amazon Standard Identification Number, is an automatically assigned number used by Amazon to identify and track products in our catalog. A SKU, or Stock Keeping Unit, is a seller-specific number that can be used internally to help you identify and track your inventory. While all three numbers help different groups identify, track, buy, and sell products, only GTINs are universal, and they're the number you'll use most often to list products on Amazon. Depending on the product you're listing, you might need to locate an existing GTIN, obtain a new one, or apply for an exemption. For more information about finding or obtaining a GTIN, see our training on Find or Obtain a Product ID. For more information about applying for a GTIN exemption and creating a new product detail page without a product ID, see our training on Apply for a Product ID Exemption. You can also find more information about GTINs, including requirements by product category, by searching GTIN or Product ID on Seller Central. This concludes our training on Product ID Overview. Thank you, and happy selling on Amazon. Welcome to our training on applying for a product ID or GTIN exemption. A product ID, also known as a Global Trade Item Number or GTIN, is a unique set of numbers used to identify products. These are often referred to as barcodes. The most common product ID is the Universal Product Code, or UPC. Each product you sell must have its own unique product ID. When you add a product not already in the Amazon store, you'll be asked for the product ID. If your product doesn't have a product ID, you may be able to apply for a product ID exemption, also known as a GTIN exemption. Let's cover some examples of when you may need to apply for a GTIN exemption. Private label or handmade products may not include product IDs. If you make products yourself or buy them from a brand, manufacturer, or publisher who doesn't provide a product ID, you may need to apply for an exemption. Parts or bundled packs of more than one product may not have product IDs and thus can be eligible for an exemption. Products from certain brands are required to have a product ID to be listed in the Amazon store. Additionally, some brands aren't eligible for exemptions. Visit the How to List Products That Do Not Have a Product ID help page for a full list of ineligible brands. Amazon verifies product IDs using the GS1 database. Product IDs that don't match information provided by GS1 will be considered invalid. GS1 is a global organization dedicated to maintaining international business standards. One of their functions is maintaining a database for UPCs. Many brands, manufacturers, and Amazon sellers purchase product IDs from GS1. We recommend obtaining your product IDs directly from GS1 to ensure the appropriate information is reflected in the database. Visit gs1.org to learn more. Now let's cover how to apply for a product ID exemption. Before getting started, you'll want to have a few things ready. Be sure you have the product name plus images showing all sides of the product and its packaging. Images should show that the brand name on the product or packaging is an exact match to the name entered during the application process. Your images should be actual photographs of your product, not illustrations. They should also show that branding is permanently affixed on the packaging, product, or both. Images should also demonstrate that the product doesn't have a GS1 approved barcode available. To apply for a product ID exemption, first go to Inventory in the Seller Central main menu and then click Add a Product. Next, under the search bar, locate the What's a GTIN heading. Then click the Learn More link below. You'll then be taken to the How to List Products That Do Not Have a Product ID help page. Scroll down to the section titled How to Request a GTIN Exemption. In the phrase, "You can apply for GTIN exemption here," the word "here" is hyperlinked. Click the word "here" to continue. Next, you'll see the Apply for GTIN Exemption page. Here you can begin your application. Click Select and a product category menu will appear. From the menu, choose the applicable product category. If you have different products in multiple categories that you'd like exemptions for, you can use the Add More Categories option and request the exemption for all of your categories with one form. Next, enter the brand of your product or products in the Brand Publisher field. If your product isn't branded, enter Generic into this field. Use the Add More Brands Publishers button to request exemptions for multiple brands in multiple categories. After entering all information, click Check for Eligibility. If your product isn't eligible for an exemption, start the listing process again when you have a product ID. If your product is exempt from a product ID, a list of exempt product categories and brands will appear. If you have confirmation that your brand is eligible for an exemption, click Continue to submit proof. Proof must be submitted as product images in PDF, JPEG, or TIFF format. If your product isn't eligible for an exemption, you won't be able to click the Continue to Submit Proof button. Now, let's discuss how to check the status of your product ID exemption. First, go to Catalog in the Seller Central main menu and then click Add Products. Next, click Check Your Status here under GTIN Exemption Status. You'll then be taken to the Your Cases and Requests log page. After you've been approved, you'll be able to add the products to the Amazon catalog while leaving the product ID box blank. Now that we've covered the process, let's go over some frequently asked questions about GTIN exemptions. How long does it take for an exemption request to be processed? You should receive an email within 48 hours regarding your approval status. Can I get an exemption for a product already listed in the Amazon store? If your product matches an existing listing, you can add your offer to the existing product detail page without a GTIN. Will my GTIN exemption expire? No, exemptions don't expire after being granted. I encountered a 5461 error when applying for an exemption. What should I do? First, review the ASIN creation policy and ensure that your product isn't already listed on the catalog. If you confirm that the ASIN isn't already listed, contact seller support. What should I do if I receive a 5665 error? This error relates to branded products. If you're listing your own branded products, you'll first need to enroll your brand in Amazon Brand Registry before applying for an exemption. If your brand isn't eligible for Amazon Brand Registry, contact seller support and mention your 5665 error. Who approves GTIN exemptions? Eligible exemptions are reviewed and approved by Seller Support Associates. Some exemptions are auto-approved, including exemptions for generic brands, brand-registered entities, and the jewelry category. Are GTIN exemptions granted at the brand level? Exemptions are provided for a brand and category. You can receive an exemption for a brand in a specific category. An exemption for that same brand in a different category would require another exemption request. Can exemptions be granted at the SKU level? To receive a SKU level exemption, contact seller support. This concludes our training on applying for a product ID or GTIN exemption. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our intro to product detail pages. If you've ever visited the Amazon store, you've seen a product detail page. It's where the information for a particular product lives, including its title, images, and about this item bullets. You might not yet know, however, that we attach all sellers' offers for a product to a single product detail page. That makes it easier for customers to find, compare, and purchase items. And it saves sellers from having to recreate pages that are already part of the Amazon catalog. We include all variations for size, color, pattern, and other attributes on a product detail page too, so customers can easily choose between versions of a product. As an Amazon seller, your ability to create or suggest an update to a product detail page depends on your relationship with the product being listed. In some cases, your relationship with a product, if a product is part of a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, only 3 types of sellers can create its product detail page and suggest updates for accuracy: the original rights owner who enrolled the brand, other sellers verified as internal to the brand, and resellers authorized by the brand. After the product is listed, other sellers can then match offers to the product detail page. They may be prompted to complete a brand selling application first in order to request approval for the registered brand. If a product is part of a brand not enrolled in brand registry, the product owner can request to create a product detail page by responding to error code 5665. They receive that error when they first try to list the product using their unregistered brand name and can follow links in the error message to request an exception to Amazon's usual brand name policy. If an exception is granted and the product detail page is created, other sellers are then able to match offers to that page. Each seller who matches can suggest updates for accuracy. Finally, if a product is generic, meaning it doesn't have a permanent brand name or logo affixed, its product detail page can be created by the product owner by using generic as a brand name value during the listing process. After the page is created, other sellers can match offers, and each seller who matches an offer can suggest updates for accuracy. Note that, in some cases, sellers are also required to complete a selling application for a product or category before they can create, suggest updates, or match offers to a product detail page. If that's necessary, you'll be prompted to complete that application during the listing process. Also note that regardless of the product, category, or brand, Amazon reviews product detail page information when new pages are requested. We also review suggested updates to ensure that they're contributing to the accuracy of a page. When updates are verified, they appear in the Amazon store within 24 hours. Although all sellers match offers to the same product detail page in the Amazon store, each seller gets to provide unique offer information. They can name a specific price, note the physical condition of the exact item they're selling, or include other seller or item-specific information like handling times or shipping options. Let's review the key elements of a product detail page, as well as some general guidelines you'll want to follow if you create or suggest updates to one. Before you create a product detail page, make sure that you also review the relevant category style guide, which you can find by searching Seller Central help pages. The first element of a product detail page is a product title or name. A good title describes the product clearly and succinctly and helps drive searches. When you create a title, include the brand and product type. For variations, include color, size, or other descriptive information. Be concise, using no more than the recommended number of characters and spaces listed in the style guide for the product's category. Capitalize the first letter of each word if it isn't a preposition like in or with, a conjunction like and or for, or an article like a or the. Use numerals instead of words for phrases like set of 2 or 15 ounces. Abbreviate measurements like cm for centimeter and oz for ounce. It's also important to remember what not to do when creating a title. Don't include pricing or other seller-specific information. Don't include promotional phrases or subjective commentary like hot item or bestseller. Don't use all caps. Don't use non-language or decorative characters. Images are another key element of any product detail page. They grab the attention of customers and provide visual information about a product. Every product detail page requires at least one main image, which is displayed as customers search. We recommend adding other images to show the product in use at different angles or with different features engaged. When you select images, show the product against a white background. This is required for main images. Have the product fill 85% or more of the frame. Use professional photographs whenever possible, especially for main images. Use images that are at least 1,000 pixels on the longest side. 1,600 pixels or more works even better for zooming in on a product. Upload JPEG if possible, though you can also use TIFF or static GIF files. For women's and men's clothing, show the product on a human model, especially for main images. Make sure you don't use blurry or pixelated images. Don't use images with accessories or props. Don't include text, logos, borders, color blocks, watermarks, or other graphics. For kids and baby clothing, don't show the product with a human model. To help customers evaluate products, we list key attributes just below the product title. This quick glance overview often includes brand name, dimensions, and color, but can also include other details that help distinguish one product from others in the same category. Amazon picks the most significant product attributes and includes them in the product overview section automatically. Below the list of attributes, we provide bullets with top-line product qualities in an About This Item section. These bullets help highlight a product's design, special features, or various uses. When you create About This Item bullets, start with a 1- or 2-word description, then offer an explanation in 100 characters or fewer. Use fragments, no need to write full sentences. Capitalize the first letter of each bullet. Make sure you also follow the same list of don'ts used for product titles. Don't include pricing or quantity information. Don't include seller-specific information. Don't include promotional phrases or subjective commentary. Don't use all caps. Don't use non-language or decorative characters. The last major element that sellers provide for a product detail page is a product description, which can have up to 2,000 characters and include images. Your product description is an opportunity to help customers imagine owning your product. When you create one, describe major features like size and style and illustrate how the product is used. Use complete sentences. Include dimensions, care instructions, and warranty information. Discuss the features and benefits of the product, focusing on unique properties. Make sure you also follow the same list of don'ts used for product titles and About This Item bullets. This concludes our intro to product detail pages. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store. In this video, we're going to show you how to use the Add a Product tool in Seller Central. You'll learn how to create an offer on a product that already exists on Amazon, also known as matching. Create a new product listing. Let's get started. On Seller Central homepage, hover over the Inventory tab and click Add a Product option. First, you'll need to check if the product you're selling is already available on the Amazon store. To do this, use the search bar to find your product. Results are more accurate if you search with a product identifier such as a UPC, EAN, GTIN, or ISBN. You can use category filters to help narrow down search results. Once you've located the product, choose the condition and select Sell this product. If this is part of a variation, click on Show Variations and choose the correct product. If the product is shown as not available, click on Show Limitations to understand the reason. You can click on Learn More for further details. Next, you'll enter the offer details in the provided data fields. Required fields are marked with an asterisk. Although it's optional, it's a good idea to enter your own item number or a unique identifier you use to categorize products into the Seller SKU field. This is helpful when you are trying to compare what you have listed to your own systems. Also, to sync your products with third-party integration tools, the Seller SKU is often a key field that ties them together. If you leave this field blank, Amazon will generate an arbitrary alphanumeric Seller SKU for you. Also, once your offer is created, the SKU cannot be changed except by creating a new offer. After entering the required information, click on Save and Finish to create your offer. The button will only be enabled once all required details have been entered. If the product you want to sell does not exist on Amazon, you can list a new product and Amazon will create a new product detail page. To do this, you can either select Create a new listing from the search results page, or you can select I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon from the Add Products page. You can then browse for your category or search for it in the search bar. If you frequently add products from the same category, start a favorites list for easy access in the future. Click the star to the left of the category to add a favorite. Once you find the most specific category that describes your product, click on Select Category to continue. If there's a lock icon preventing you from selecting a category, it requires approval or is restricted. Click the Learn More link next to the lock icon for more information about these scenarios. Once you've selected a category, enter all required product information to complete your listing. Product information is organized in tabs at the top of the page. Fields marked with a red asterisk and box are required. Make sure to follow Amazon's quality standards when filling out this information. Adding rich information like properly formatted titles, high-quality images on white backgrounds, detailed product descriptions, and bullet points helps customers make well-informed purchasing decisions. If you don't include all required product data, it could result in your products receiving quality alerts or being suppressed. To view all optional tabs and fields for your listing, turn on Advanced View from the top right corner. Adding precise optional information helps increase listing discoverability. If you have a product that varies in size or color, you don't have to add each of these variations separately. Let's learn how. From the Variations tab, select Variations Theme option and choose how your product varies. This is also called Parent-Child Variations. For example, let's say you sell one style of juicer that comes in 4 different colors. In this case, you'd select the variation theme, Color. In this example, the parent item is the juicer, and the 4 child items are each of the color options. Enter the specific color you want the customer to read in each text box. Once entered, click on Add Variations. From here, update each child item with your offer information. This includes your seller SKU, the product ID, condition, price, and quantity. Required fields for each item are marked with a red border. The product information you fill out on the other tabs will be copied for each child item. It is important that you enter statements that can apply to all products in the variation. You will be able to adjust each child listing individually once the variation is built. Once the child items are created, you'll need to add images by editing each child ASIN individually. When you're done entering product information on all tabs, click on the Save and Finish button. This button will be enabled when all required product data is complete and errors are addressed. A red exclamation mark will guide you to any tabs missing required product data or containing errors. Once submitted, the listing will reflect in your inventory within 15 minutes to 24 hours. This wraps up our session on listing a product one by one. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to the training Match or Create Product Listings in Bulk. Professional sellers can add products to their Amazon inventory in bulk by uploading a spreadsheet or inventory file. Creating an inventory file takes time, but it can also save time later when you want to edit or add a large number of product listings. Instead of editing or adding products and offers one by one in Seller Central, you can update a saved copy of a file, then upload a fresh version to make all your inventory changes at once. Inventory file templates can be customized for the specific product categories you sell. Use them to match your offers to existing listings or to create product detail pages and listings for new products. Remember that you must be a product's brand owner or a brand qualified seller to create a new detail page for an Amazon brand registry enrolled product. There are 3 basic steps in the bulk listing process. 1. Create your inventory file. 2. Add your product information. 3. Upload your file to Seller Central. Once you've uploaded an inventory file, you can monitor its status and correct any errors that are identified. Let's start with creating your inventory file. In Seller Central, select Inventory from the main menu, then click Add Products via Upload. This will take you to the Add Products via Upload page. Select the Download an Inventory File tab. First, you'll select the type of products you want to sell. You can use either the search tool or the product classifier. Both options allow you to identify and select product categories, also called product types. The selections you make add relevant product attribute columns to your inventory file template. For example, if you select the product category Digital Cameras, attribute columns for video capture resolution and audio encoding language will appear in your spreadsheet. If you want to search for product categories, enter your product name or a descriptor in the search bar and click the Search button. For example, you might search for shoes, basketball, or kids' toys. The search tool will list all related product types. Browse carefully and click the Select button next to the product type that matches your product. Each selection you make will appear below. You can click the X next to a selection if you need to remove a product category. If a search term doesn't yield the category you need, click Clear Search. Then try searching for a different product name or descriptor. You can also use the product classifier to drill down to product categories. Locate the overarching category for a product from the list, then select each subcategory to narrow the results. For example, you might select clothing, shoes and jewelry, then men, watches, and watch bands. Click the Select button next to the subcategory that matches your product, which will add it to the list below for your file template. You might see a Lock and Request Approval button next to some product types. That means you need to obtain approval from Amazon before listing products in that category. Click the Request Approval button, which will take you to our Categories and Products Requiring Approval help page for step-by-step instructions. After selecting the product categories you want added to your inventory file template, you'll select a template type. You can either leave Advanced Defaulted or select Custom. An advanced file template contains all attribute columns for your selected product categories. That includes all required, preferred, and optional attributes, every column you might need for a product. If you select Custom, all required product attribute columns are automatically included in your inventory file template, but you get to choose preferred and optional attributes. If you know exactly which preferred and optional attributes you'll need in your template, selecting Custom can help pare down your spreadsheet and make it easier to add product information. If you select a custom template, highlight each available attribute group you want to include on the left, and click the Add button to move it to the Selected Attribute Groups box on the right. If necessary, you can click the Remove button to deselect an attribute. When you're done selecting your template type, click the Generate Template button to download your customized inventory file template. Once you've created your template, you'll add your product information. Start by saving the template. When saving, select either Text Tab Delimited or star.txt from the File Type dropdown. That will make it easier to update product and offer information later. If you don't have macros enabled already, you'll want to do so before downloading your inventory file template. Enabling macros automates certain field functions, improving the accuracy and speed of your entries. Click the File tab, select Options, and then choose Add-ins to locate macros. When you open your inventory file template, you'll see multiple tabs. You'll add product information to the Template tab. The Instructions, Images, Example, Data Definitions, Browse Data, and Valid Values tabs provide information and guidance. Start by reviewing the Instructions tab, which explains in detail how to use the template. It's worth reading this all the way through, especially the first time you create an inventory file. The Images tab outlines Amazon's image requirements. If you're including images for a new product, or if you're recommending updated images for an existing product, review this tab for important guidance. The Example tab provides several sample product rows for your reference. Take a look if you'd like to see, in detail, how your inventory file should look when it's completed. The Data Definitions tab defines each attribute within your inventory file. If you're unsure how to complete an attribute column or whether it's required, refer to this tab for definitions and use, accepted values, an example of each attribute, as well as a required or optional indicator. The Browse Data tab shows how your products will be found by customers browsing the Amazon store. Finally, the Valid Values tab provides a list of acceptable terms for certain product attribute columns. If you're unsure about an entry for a specific attribute, consult this comprehensive table and select a value that appears in a corresponding row and column. Back on the Template tab, each row represents a single product. Use one row to match your offer to an existing listing or to create a product detail page and offer for a new product. Each column represents a single product attribute. Start entering a product's information using the drop-down in column A for product type. Once you've made your selection, all the other required entries for the row will be outlined in red. If your template includes more than one product type, all entries for other product categories will be grayed out to indicate that they shouldn't be completed. You'll type many entries manually, but some will have a drop-down like column A. Make sure you don't edit any information in the first 3 rows highlighted in various colors. Doing so will cause errors during upload. Fill in each required entry in red, which will include the product SKU, your stock keeping unit or personal seller identifier, and the external product ID, which will be the ASIN or a GTIN like a UPC, ISBN, EAN, or JAN. Standard price and quantity are also required fields, even if they are 0 for a business-only offer or an item that is out of stock. Next, fill in any unoutlined entries for preferred or optional attributes that you want to complete. After the required columns in light orange, you'll find yellow image columns, light red variation columns, and orange basic product information columns. You'll also find columns related to the discovery of products in the Amazon store in green, brown product enrichment columns for extra product information, blue dimensions columns, and light blue fulfillment columns for shipping information. At the end of the spreadsheet, you'll find maroon compliance columns, red offer columns for pricing and other listing information, and jade B2B columns for sellers listing products for Amazon business customers. Some sellers fill out every attribute column. Some fill out only required columns. In general, the more data you provide, the more information and options customers have while making purchasing decisions. Remember that once you've completed a row for a product, you can keep a saved copy of your file to make quick and easy edits to your product and listing information later. When you finish adding products to your inventory file template, make sure you save your changes and keep a copy for your records. Then you're ready for the third and final step, uploading your file to Seller Central. On the Add Products via Upload page, select the Upload Your Inventory File tab. Drag and drop your file or click Browse Files to search for and select your file. Once your file is validated, a summary will appear to the right. If your file type isn't recognized, a drop-down will appear instead, and you'll be able to select your file type. Next, leave the Excel option defaulted unless you prefer to receive your processing report as text. We recommend an Excel processing report because it highlights errors and warnings in the actual cells where they've occurred. That makes it easier to pinpoint any potential issues with your upload. Before uploading, you can enter an email in the Email Alert field if you'd like to be notified when your file is done processing. Finally, when you're ready, click the Upload File button to finish the process. If you're only uploading information for a few products, it will take just a few minutes to process. Larger uploads can take several hours. Thanks for your patience while we match and create your product listings. Your inventory will be available for purchase in the Amazon store once it's complete. You can check the status of an upload anytime by clicking the Monitor Upload Status tab, which lists the date, time, batch ID, status, and link to the processing report for your most recent completed uploads. Check your processing report to address any errors. You'll use this process to match offers to existing listings, and if you're a qualified seller, you'll use it to create product detail pages and listings for new products. You can use a single inventory file to both match and create listings. If your file includes a product ID or GTIN for an item and a matching ID exists in the Amazon store, we'll match your offer to the existing product detail page. We'll also attempt to match a product by manufacturer or other information if you don't include a product ID. If we can't match a product to an existing product in the Amazon store, we'll create a new product detail page and offer as long as you're a qualified seller and you have provided enough information. After adding product listings to your inventory, you can use the same process to make edits to listings or to suggest changes to product detail pages in bulk if you're a qualified seller. Start by going back to your saved inventory file and, for faster processing, remove any products you don't want to adjust. Then save the new copy. If you just want to edit an offer, update your price, quantity, business price, or any other offer-related information in your inventory file, you can leave all other entries the same. Note that if you delete an offer-related entry, it will register as a 0 on Seller Central. For example, deleting a price for a product will set the price at $0. If you're a qualified seller and want to suggest changes to your product detail page, make the suggested updates in the relevant attribute column. After making edits to your inventory file, you can upload it normally. You'll see offer updates within 15 minutes of your upload. We'll also review suggested product changes and make any updates within 24 hours. If, for any reason, you want to replace your entire inventory in the Amazon store, there's also an option on the Upload Your Inventory File tab to purge and replace your inventory. You'll click the link to select this option, then upload your inventory file normally. Keep in mind that this will delete all your current listings in the Amazon store, including any products not in the file you're currently uploading. It will replace your entire inventory with the products in your new file only. Matching and creating product listings in bulk might seem daunting at first, but the extra effort can save you time, energy, and effort in the long run. We encourage you to try it. Are you also interested in creating product variations in bulk? We offer a separate module to guide you through that specific process. Search for Create Product Variations in Bulk in Seller University. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store. Do you sell products that come in different sizes or colors, or other style variations? Instead of creating standalone listings for each, you can group them together on a single detail page. We call this feature Product Variation Relationships. Creating variations lets customers see all their buying options on one page and can help increase conversion. This video will show you how to create product variations on Seller Central using Add a Product. Let's get started. Let's take an example of a product with different variations. This product is a box of granola bars available in 2 sizes, a 6-pack and a 12-pack, and 2 flavors, honey and sweet and salty. Altogether, there are 4 physical product options that can be linked to one Amazon product page. In this example, there are 4 child items mapped to a parent item. They are held together by the variation theme that is chosen. Note that the parent is not a physical item for sale. If the parent item was unassociated from the child items become their own standalone listings. Now let's take a look at how you can create parent and child items using the Add a Product tool in Seller Central. From your Seller Central homepage, hover over the Inventory tab and select Add a Product. Then click on I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon option. Now select the relevant category for your product. Enter the product name for the parent listing as well as the brand and manufacturer if required. Since the parent is not a physical item for sale, leave the following blank: product ID and ID type, package quantity, and variation attributes like color, size, and flavor. Now move to the Variations tab. Select the appropriate variation theme from the drop-down menu. Please note that these variation themes may vary based on the category of products you are selling. Enter the variation names, color, size, flavor, or whatever is indicated by the variation theme selected. Then click Add Variations. The variations will be shown at the bottom of the page. Complete the required information for each product variation. Next, you'll move on to the other tabs and menu choices to provide product descriptions, features, and other required information that helps create quality listings. We recommend choosing Advanced View to add optional information to help increase listing discoverability. The product information you fill out on the other tabs will be copied for each child listing. So, it's important that you enter information that can apply to all products in the variation. You can also update each child listing individually later. Upon completion, click on the Save and Finish button. Once the variation family is built, you will see a consolidated structure that appears to be a single listing in your Manage Inventory page. However, on the far left of the parent item, you will see an arrow symbol with the phrase Variations and the number of variations listed within the grouping. To view each of the individual child listings, click on the arrow symbol. It is important to add a main image to each child listing. Without a main image, listings can end up removed and non-buyable. To add an image, click Edit on the child listing and navigate to the Image tab. While you are adding an image, you can also adjust or add any other content on the tabs to further clarify that specific child listing. If in the future you need to add more items to the same variation family, click on Edit on the parent item and navigate to the Variation tab. Here you can build the new addition to the variation family. Fill in the details in the text box, select Add Variations, and complete the required information as you did when first setting up the original variation. Then click on the Save and Finish button and the new addition to the variation family will be added. This wraps up the video on how to create product variations using Add a Product. Thank you, and welcome to the training Create Product Variations in Bulk. Professional sellers can add product variations to their inventory in bulk by uploading a spreadsheet or inventory file. This option is faster than adding product variations one by one in Seller Central. It's also part of the normal process for matching or creating listings in bulk. Adding variations to inventory files takes a few extra steps, but it's a great way to provide customers the variety they love. That could be a tote bag that comes in 2 sizes, or a package of granola bars that comes in 5 different flavors and 3 different quantities. If you haven't yet watched our modules Create a Product Variation and Match or Create Product Listings in Bulk, watch them now to better understand variation relationships and the process for creating, completing, and uploading an inventory file to Seller Central. Then return to this module, which focuses on how to add variation information to an inventory file template. Let's say you want to sell a women's shirt that comes in 2 different sizes, small and large. Maybe it also comes in 2 colors, yellow and blue. How do these variations get entered into an inventory file for upload? Start the process by going to Inventory from the main menu in Seller Central, then click Add Products via Upload. This will bring you to the Add Products via Upload page where you'll select the Download an Inventory File tab. Next, use either the Search tool or the Product Classifier to select the type of products you want to sell. After adding each product category to your inventory file template, choose the template type you want to create, either Advanced or Custom. Next, you'll add your product information to the Template tab after reviewing the Instructions, Images, Example, Data Definitions, Browse Data, and Valid Values tabs for guidance. As always, you'll fill in the required entries outlined in red and can fill in any unoutlined entries for preferred or optional attributes. If your template contains multiple product types, you'll also see attribute columns grayed out in each row after selecting a feed product type in column A. That means those columns don't apply to the product category selected and should be left blank. For a product with variations like our example shirt, you'll want to start adding information with the parent item. The parent is a non-buyable, non-physical product and is only used to drive product searches and relate buyable child products. This means you only need to complete required columns for the parent item that fulfill these functions. These will include the item SKU or your seller-specific inventory number, item name, which should include no variation information, manufacturer, and main image URL. They will also include a brand name and item type if applicable. For our shirt example, the columns labeled Outer Material Type 1, Material Composition 1, Department Name, Is Adult Product, Target Gender, Age Range Description, Shirt Size System, and Shirt Size Class are also required for the parent item. You should leave other required columns blank for the parent product because they only apply to buyable child items. These will always include the external product ID, a universally applicable GTIN like a UPC, ISBN, EAN, or JAN, external product ID type, standard price, and quantity. They will also always include varying attribute information like color and size. You'll want to leave all preferred and optional columns blank for the parent item. You should not enter information in the sections for other images, basic product features, discovery, product enrichment, dimensions, fulfillment, compliance, offer information, and B2B sales. For the physical child items you'll be listing and selling in the Amazon store, you'll need to complete all required attribute columns as you would for any other buyable product. Some of these columns will be identical across a set of child products. In our example, external product ID type, manufacturer, and item type are the same for all shirts because they are features common to the set. So are Outer Material Type 1, Material Composition 1, Is Adult Product, Department Name, Target Gender, Age Range Description, Shirt Size System, and Shirt Size Class. The entry for brand name must also always be the same for each child SKU to prevent submission errors. Other attribute columns require unique entries for each product variation because they are different for each child item. These always include the item SKU, item name, which should include variation information like size and color, and external product ID. Your varying attributes, standard price, quantity, and main image URL will be the same or different according to the properties of each child product. For our shirt example, each variation requires a unique image URL because of the differences in size and color. But the prices for both larges and both smalls are the same. After entering required information for your parent and child products, you'll need to enter 4 additional attributes in your spreadsheet to establish the parent-child relationship. This information links your listings in the Amazon store. Get started by scrolling over to the light red Variations attribute column. In the Parent-Child column, choose Parent for your parent item and Child for each child item using the drop-down. In the Parent SKU column, re-enter the SKU from your parent product's required information into each child row. Leave this column blank for the parent item. For relationship type, select Variation from the drop-down for all child products. Leave this column blank for the parent item. Finally, in the Variation Theme column, use the drop-down to select the theme that differentiates your child items. In our shirt example, that's size name, color name, because our shirts vary by both size, small or large, and color, yellow or blue. Enter this theme for both the parent and all child products. After entering all the information needed for both parent and child products, you'll upload your inventory file normally on the Upload Your Inventory File tab. Drag and drop your file or click Browse Files to search for and select your file. Once your file has been validated and a summary appears to the right, click the Upload File button to finish the process. As always, you can check the status of an upload anytime by clicking the Monitor Upload Status tab. Once you've added product variations to your inventory, you can use the same process to edit them. Save a copy of your uploaded file and consider adding a date to the file name to clearly record your work. When you need to make updates to your inventory, simply edit your file and upload the new version. See our module Match or Create Product Listings in Bulk for more information. Creating product variations in bulk can seem complicated at first, but the extra effort can save you time, energy, and effort in the long run. We encourage you to try it. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our training Resolve Error 5665. While trying to add a new product to the Amazon store, you might encounter error code 5665. This error appears because you've entered a brand name in the brand name field that hasn't been approved by Amazon. We require all brand names to be approved before they can be used to list products. This helps ensure that only authentic products are listed in the Amazon store. It also helps protect the intellectual property or IP rights of brand and product owners. Let's review the two options brand owners have for requesting brand name approval and resolving error 5665. We'll also review how the owner of a generic product can list in the Amazon store without a brand name. The first way a brand owner can request approval is by enrolling their brand in Amazon Brand Registry. We recommend this option because, in addition to permitting use of a brand name in Amazon listings, enrollment unlocks a suite of selling benefits, including stores, A+ content, and sponsored brands. Enrollment in Brand Registry also gives brands greater control over their product detail pages and access to additional automated protections, programs, and reporting options. To enroll your brand, you need to meet a few basic requirements. You need to have your brand name or a logo that includes your brand name permanently affixed to your products or packaging. You also need an active registered trademark for your brand name or logo, or a pending trademark application or registration in some cases. If you meet these basic requirements, visit brandservices.amazon.com to review country-specific requirements and enroll your brand. After your enrollment is approved, you can return to Seller Central and list your products using your registered brand name. For more information about the requirements and process for enrolling a brand, review the full list of modules in our Seller University course, Enroll Your Brand in Amazon Brand Registry. It's also possible for brand owners to list products in the Amazon store by requesting approval for an unregistered brand name. An unregistered brand is one that isn't enrolled in Brand Registry. Importantly, this kind of brand still has its brand name or a logo that includes its brand name permanently affixed to its products or packaging. It doesn't need a trademark, however. The owner of an unregistered brand can request approval to list using their brand name by completing a selling application for catalog authorization in Seller Central. Click the link in the error 5665 message to access the selling application. On the application page, start by selecting the product types or categories you want to sell using your unregistered brand name. You can search using keywords or use the product classifier to find relevant categories. Next, upload at least one image of your brand name or logo on your products or packaging. Check the boxes on the application to confirm that the images you're uploading meet all the requirements. They should show a brand name or a logo that includes a brand name that exactly matches the brand name you're requesting approval for. The only differences permitted are for capitalization and spacing. Your images also can't be computer generated or have a brand name or logo that's been digitally added. They should show a brand name or logo permanently affixed to your products or packaging too. That usually means your brand name or logo has been printed, sewn, engraved, or attached in another way during production. Stickers, stamps, and other marks that can be easily added or removed don't meet these requirements. Your images also shouldn't show a brand name or logo that infringes on another brand's trademark. If you'd like more information about using brand names and logos in the Amazon store, or about trademarks and infringement, search in Seller University for our modules Requirements for Brand Names and Logos in the Amazon store and Amazon's Intellectual Property Policies. After you've uploaded your image files and checked each box to confirm they meet the requirements, enter an email address and consider entering a phone number in case we need to contact you with questions. Then click the Submit button to finish the application process. You can monitor the status of your selling application on your Selling Applications page in Seller Central. To access the page, hover over Catalog, then click View Selling Applications in the main menu. If your brand name is approved, you can then use it to list products. Note that listing products using an unregistered brand doesn't give you access to the same set of selling benefits and protection tools enjoyed by brands enrolled in Brand Registry. You also don't have the same level of control over your product detail pages. Note too that if an unregistered brand name is used as a brand name value for a product listing, that listing can only be associated with a registered brand later with help from seller support. A brand that originally lists products using an unregistered brand name and then enrolls in brand registry should contact seller support to sync their newly registered brand name with existing listings. Finally, if you're trying to add a product to the Amazon store that doesn't have a brand name or logo permanently affixed to it or its packaging, you can avoid error 5665 by listing the product generically. Instead of entering a brand name while creating a listing, the owner of this kind of non-branded product can select or enter generic as the brand name value. If you list a product generically, note that you won't have access to brand selling benefits and that your product detail page can be updated using suggestions from other sellers who match offers to the listing. Note too that after generic is used as a brand name value for a product listing, it can't be updated later. To associate a brand name with a product after it's been listed as generic, you must create a new listing. This concludes our training on resolving error 5665. We encourage you to search for the Amazon brand name policy in Seller Central for more information. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store.